This podcast is brought to you by the School of Advanced Study, University of London. All of our podcasts are available from our website, www.sas.ac.uk.
Hello, I'm Philip Murphy. I'm Director of the Institute of Commonwealth Studies, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the termly Decolonization research seminar that we run. The next seminar is going to be on Friday the 9th of March. The main purpose of the workshops is to provide a kind of focal point for scholars in the UK who are interested in the study of decolonization in its broadest sense. And it's an opportunity for them, and particularly for early career scholars, to try out pieces of research, get some feedback in a fairly informal and friendly setting, which will prepare them to present it in more formal conferences and seminars. We have a number of themes for the research workshop on the 9th. The first session is going to be on the theme of development and end of empire. And this is quite an important field. It's the so-called second colonial occupation after the Second World War, when there was a real push to try and develop colonies economically and socially, and streams of technicians, economists go into the colonies. The second session is going to be on one of the thorniest problems Britain had to deal with in the decolonization era, and that's the problem of southern Rhodesia, which achieved full independence in 1980 as Zimbabwe. And there are papers looking at different elements of that problem, European migration into southern Rhodesia in the 50s and 60s, the international dimension of the Rhodesian problem, and the actual transfer of power in 1979, 1980, how that was managed. And the final session is going to be on legacies of decolonization, on the kind of cultural changes that went on after formal independence to establish new nations and to break the old colonial links in a way. The preservation of things like the Westminster model of parliamentary democracy and how new and localized versions of that sprang up. And even things as basic as state boundaries, how these were challenged in the post-independence period, particularly in Africa. In our decolonization workshops, we tend to end with a book launch. And our book launch on the 9th is going to be for the Oxford History of the British Empire companion volume, edited by Andrew Thompson, Britain's Experience of Empire in the 20th Century. And a number of the contributors are going to be talking about the pieces, including myself, and there will be commentators on it and chances to ask questions about it. These workshops, they're clearly intended for academics and postgraduate students working on decolonization or on modern history more generally. But we also hope they'll be of interest to people with a general interest in history, and in particular, in a way, to people who've lived through and experienced some of the things that we're talking about. A lot of these things are still within living memory, and we're very keen to encourage people with personal experiences to bring to these discussions, to come along and share them with us.